Hello, this is Eugenia with Radiant Warrior Living. I help professional women connect to who they are and find their voice. Today, I'm recording this video from a beautiful place. I'm actually traveling and I'm in Paris, in France, and I am staying in this beautiful Airbnb, which has inspired me to record this video and share some insights from this travel. I find that when we travel, we really get a chance to get to know the culture, especially when we stay in a place that allows us to really get to know the culture, get to see how people live, get to explore, get to observe, get to feel a little bit like a local. I know it's impossible to feel like a local unless you stay for a long time, but I think it's important to try and see how life would be if we were somebody else, or imagine ourselves living in a different place. It really takes you out of your day-to-day life, and it allows you to try something new. It allows you to experience something in a very different place, and maybe even see what you can learn. I'm a great believer that travel allows us to expand our horizons. It allows us to learn how other people do it, and maybe there's other things that we can find out about that will make our life better or add to our life. And definitely, when I travel and I come back home, I see things from a different perspective sometimes. And it allows me to also appreciate what I have and appreciate my city, appreciate my life, appreciate my loved ones, appreciate my own bed. But I do enjoy traveling, and I find that I learn a lot, and I usually write a lot while I travel or when I come back after I process my experience. So today what I want to share with you are some of the things that I have experienced on this trip, and that I'm thinking that I will take forward. Maybe there's something that you'll find interesting in here, or at least it will maybe make you wonder how what you've picked up on your recent travels, or what are some of the ways that in your daily life, how you do things, and maybe there's something to learn from the Parisians. Well, one thing I have to say is that I definitely love to travel to Europe, and I find that people here definitely live their life on a day-to-day basis in a different way that we do in North America. What I find is that everything I see people do, enjoy their little coffee and a cafe on the corner, how they dress, how they buy their vegetables and fruit every day, how they take the time to really live their life more deliberately instead of going to a supermarket and stocking up for the week or for 2 weeks, which we do in North America. I'm just finding, I personally, and I see a lot of people that I know, around me who are always rushed. And I'm not saying people here don't rush. They have as busy lives as we do, or maybe busier. They have families and they have responsibilities and jobs. But I find that they experience life differently, or at least that's how it seems to me. So, we take our coffee to go. They drink their coffee in the cafe, and a lot of North Americans actually ask for a coffee to go, and you could see a slight sort of smirk or a grin on their face, because this is their time to stop and enjoy the moment. So one thing I'm taking home is I think I'm going to commit to not take, I take my water on the road when I'm driving, but what I'm going to do, if I want to have a tea or coffee, I'm going to actually go in and sit down and have a tea and a coffee versus taking a cup to go. Because I find when I'm driving and drinking my coffee, I cannot enjoy it the same way that I would in a cafe. So that's definitely the first thing that I'm taking away from this. The second thing I'm taking away is the ability to just stop. And I do tell that to myself, to stop and just enjoy. There's about 22 gardens and parks, real big gardens and parks in Paris. And if you think about it, this city has so much history, and it's a big city, and it's very populated and dense. At the same time, it has so much green space for people to enjoy. I've actually have already visited 3 parks while I've been on this trip, and I'm thinking that I will probably visit another 2 for sure, because I really like to see how people enjoy their time with their kids. It allows me to see what people do here every day. So I'm going to commit to really taking the time First of all, I do enjoy parks at home, but I will enjoy them more, and I will make sure that I actually sit down in the park versus taking my dog for a walk and walk through a park. I see people not rushed. I see people taking their time and really enjoying sitting on the grass, taking their time while the weather is permitting, but it's just more around kind of being there in the moment and really taking it in. So that's the second thing that I'm taking away. The third thing that's really been nice to see is the ability to enjoy little things and taking pleasure in putting yourself together. I find that the way we present ourselves is very, very important, and I work on that, and I work with women on how they present themselves and how they feel and what they want to portray to the world. So at the same time, when I am rushed to get ready in the morning, I don't always take the pleasure in that. And I see French women, and it's talked about a lot all over, how they know how to put themselves together. And it doesn't take a lot of time, but it's wonderful to see how people express themselves individually and how there's just so much of that around, and it's just nice to see. So it's really being able to stop for a second and kind of think about, what do I want to express? How do I want to present myself today? What kind of mood am I in? Because I'm noticing the level of detail that people have when they present themselves and put themselves together is so nice to see. And I think that's why we say that Europeans dress so nice, because everything they do, there's such attention to detail. So that attention to detail is a big thing, and I think it's important in life. It's everything we do, if we do it deliberately with joy and we pay attention to how we do it and we put our little personal touch on it, I think that makes a difference. So those three things, or I forgot how many now, but those things are definitely something I'm taking away. And the last thing that I find is very helpful, I've been reading, and I've been trying to practice French and speak French here. I love the language. I've been studying it a while back, and now it's really coming back to me. I've decided not to be shy and really speak more and more as much as I make mistakes, and I find people here appreciate it. And you really get a lot of waiters or people who you try to you speak French to, even when you make mistakes, they really encourage that. So it makes a big difference. So I've been looking at different French phrases, and you've heard quite a few of them. There's a lot of French words that in English that have been taken from the French language, as well as in my mother tongue in Russian. There's lots of French words. There's a lot of well-known French expressions. So, cherchez la femme. I'm sure you've heard lots of other ones, but I've learned one just recently while being here, and I think it's actually a really good one. So it goes like this. I have to, it's called reculer pour mieux sauter. And what it means is draw back in order to leap better, or in order to leap forward and to move forward with better opportunities. So that's one thing I'm definitely taking away here, is that sometimes in life when we feel that we're blocked, or we feel that maybe we cannot move forward as fast, or we don't know what to do, a lot of the times we start panicking and we feel like we don't know what are we going to do, so we start spinning and we push forward and don't give ourselves the time to recuperate. And I think sometimes it's really when things are not moving forward, or when we make a mistake, or we've made a mistake, it is about thinking through, or really taking the time to just step back and reassess, so that with that new feeling, or with that time and the pause that you take, it allows you to reassess what you need to move forward, instead of moving forward in a panic and in desperation, because that happens when you don't reassess, or you don't pause and take a deep breath, or do whatever it is that you need to do to recuperate. So I find that is one big thing, and a few other things that I obviously shared are very important. But this one thing is definitely something I'm going to take forward. There's been some things that have happened business-wise while I was here, which made me feel like I need to start worrying, I need to start panicking, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to take my time. You know, what's the worst that can happen if I pause and kind of step back and assess the situation, so that I can move forward better, I can leap forward with more strength, more positiveness, and whatever else I need after I reassess what I need to do. So hopefully there's some things in here that you might find interesting. I would love some comments. I would love to think what you guys think and share your experiences on when you travel. What are some of the things that you've taken forward as wisdom and insight? And I will be sharing more videos about this trip and a few other initiatives or things that I'm working on. Thank you very much, and I wish you a beautiful day.